On the floor, many of us have been actually for the last several weeks to talk about a really important issue for the country, and that is getting administration officials in the Trump administration confirmed by this body. There has been a resistance, a desire to not want to move very, very qualified people, unfortunately, by my colleagues on the other side, and it's just not helping the country. It's just not helping the country. With each new administration, our great nation sees a peaceful transition of power. It's a remarkable pillar of American democracy, and this doesn't include just the transition with regard to the president and vice president, but also the team of officials in the federal government at senior levels that are required to run this country. Good people in both, whether it's a Democrat or Republican administration. Republican administration is not always easy to serve. And what we've been trying to do is help this administration find, get nominated by the president, and confirm high-quality American people in these jobs to serve their country. As Alaska's senator, I've had a particular focus on Alaskans to serve in key positions in the federal government. And I will say that the Trump administration has been very receptive to a number of these high-qualified Alaskans who want to serve their country. But, Mr. President, unfortunately, what we're seeing on the other side is just obstruction. They don't want to move people. They never explain it. I've come down here, given this speech several times, and I've asked for the minority leader, come on down, explain why you're delaying all these very well-qualified Americans who want to serve their government. Come on down, explain it. Tell the American people why assistant secretaries across federal agencies who have been waiting months to be confirmed by this body, who have been voted out of committee with big bipartisan numbers, sit and wait and wait and wait. What good is that doing for the country? Come on down and explain it. I've been asking them to come down and explain it, and they never take me up on the offer. So, Mr. President, unfortunately, we know the numbers. At this point, 8 years ago in the Obama presidency, almost 70% of the nominees by President Obama who won his election were confirmed by the Senate. Now, I wasn't in the Senate then, but I know my colleagues on this side of the aisle, if they didn't like someone, you could vote against them, you could put a hold on them for a while, get your questions answered. So that's the way it worked. And that's normal. Those numbers are about normal. At the same time now, under the Trump administration's presidency, the Senate has only confirmed 40%. 40%. Now, is that helping the country? No. It's not helping the country. Do they ever come down and explain why they're resisting? No. So it's a frustration. It's a frustration, and it's not helping the country. We need good people in government. If this trend continues, at the number of people we need to confirm for presidential appointed positions, it will take us more than 11 years to confirm the remaining presidential appointments. Let me repeat that. More than 11 years. And we all know a presidential term lasts 4 years. So this is unprecedented. It's unprecedented. Go take a look. And yet the other side doesn't want to explain why they're so focused on obstruction. And it's certainly not helping the people, because the vast majority of these nominees are really well qualified. Mr. President, I want to talk about one who I know really well, who's part of this partisan logjam. He's an Alaskan. His name's Joe Bailash. Now, I'm a little biased here. He was my former chief of staff in the Senate. But Joe is also the former commissioner of the Department of Natural Resources in Alaska, and he was the deputy commissioner. What's the position he's been nominated for? To be the next U.S. Assistant Secretary of the Interior for Lands and Minerals. So essentially, the federal official who would be working with Secretary Zinke at the Department of Interior to oversee federal lands, minerals, mining, oil, gas, onshore, offshore, for the country. Really big job in Alaska. We have 66% of our lands are federal. But this is a huge job for the country and a really important job as we're trying to take advantage of this new energy renaissance in our nation, which is great for the nation, great for jobs, great for foreign policy, great for energy security. And Mr. President, Joe Bailash comes super well qualified. The DNR commissioner in Alaska manages one of the largest portfolios of land, oil, gas, water, minerals, timber of any place in the world. In the world. So nobody doubts that Joe is very well qualified for this position. As a matter of fact, on September 19th, Joe's nomination was voted out of the Energy and Natural Resources Committee by voice vote. That means unanimously, with the exception of one senator who said he wanted to be voted no. Every other senator, so very bipartisan. So they all knew, hey, we might not fully agree with all the policies he wants. I was talking earlier about opening the coastal region of the Arctic slope, North Slope in Alaska, that we voted on last week in the Senate. Certainly, Joe Bailash is supportive of that as an Alaskan. But if someone doesn't like that, they should just come down here and vote against him. But he's been put on hold. So I've been trying for weeks now to figure out why. Who's got a hold on him? And I want to compliment the Democratic whip from Illinois, Senator Durbin. I reached out to him several weeks ago. He mentioned to me that he had a hold on him. And he said there were certain things that he wanted to get from the Secretary of Interior, meetings. So I worked with Senator Durbin and Secretary Zinke, and after those meetings, looked like it was all good. And the senator from Illinois said to me, hey, we're ready to move. We're ready to move forward with him. So I appreciated that. That was very constructive. And as I mentioned, I'm not opposed to holds. Sometimes it's important to put holds on administration officials. I did it in the Obama administration. I've done it even for some Trump administration nominees. But what's going on here, Mr. President, after working with the Democratic whip, seemingly clearing out everything, and he thought we were too, getting ready to move Joe Bailash, and nope, all of a sudden there's a quote-unquote secret hold. A secret hold on Joe Bailash. Super qualified for the job, but somebody has a secret hold. Now, I know my colleagues on the other side talk a lot about transparency, but this is months now. And working with the Democratic whip, again, in good faith, and he worked hard, and I'm complimenting him as much as I can on this. Someone else decides, no, I'm going to just keep holding it. But I'm not going to come down here and say who it is or why or how long they want or what else they want out of the administration, or maybe a question for Mr. Bailash. So my point is, if senators want to vote down or oppose a nominee, they should make their opposition known and transparent. So we're going to have a vote here in a couple minutes. After the vote, Mr. President, I'm going to come back to the floor, and I I could do it right now, but I'm trying to be respectful to my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, even this secret holder, whoever she or he is. But I'm going to come back down, and I'm going to ask unanimous requests to move Joe Backlog forward. We're waiting months, and I'm really hopeful that my colleagues, maybe they don't want to show who the secret holder is, but I really hope that my colleagues will come down, that they're not going to object. We're going to do this in a little bit. I'm going to try and free Joe Backlog, essentially. And I'm hopeful that we can agree on that, move this very well-qualified candidate forward, but maybe there's going to be an objection. And we'll see. I'm going to ask for this in about a half hour. But if there's an objection, I certainly hope the secret holder is going to come down to the Senate floor, speak to the American people, and say, here's why I'm secretly holding this guy. Even though he's super well qualified, even though unleashing the American energy renaissance for the country is great for everybody. So I'm hopeful that whoever it is can show a little transparency. Hopefully they'll agree, but if they don't, come on down. Tell us who you are, tell us what the problem is. But we need to put good people in government. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, keeping people out of the government is not helping the American people. And that's what's happening here. And unfortunately, the other side is getting away with it. The media won't write about it. But it's a big problem, and people should be concerned. Finally, Mr. President,